Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read you a statement from former President Donald Trump on the FBI and its activities at Mar-a-Lago. This is a statement by Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States of America. It's on Truth Social, and here it goes. These are dark times for our nation as my beautiful home, Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, is currently under siege, raided and occupied by a large group of FBI agents. Nothing like this has ever happened to the President of the United States before. After working and cooperating with the relevant government agencies, this unannounced raid on my home was not necessary or appropriate. It is prosecutorial misconduct, the weaponization of the justice system, and an attack by radical left Democrats who desperately don't want me to run for president in 2024, especially based on recent polls, and who will likewise do anything to stop Republicans and conservatives in the upcoming midterm elections. Such an assault could only have taken place in sadly, America has now become one of those countries corrupt at a level not seen before. They even broke into my safe. What's the difference between this and Watergate, where operatives broke into the Democratic National Committee? Here, in reverse, Democrats broke into the home of the 45th President of the United States. The political persecution of President Donald J. Trump has been going on for years, with now fully debunked Russia. He goes on, impeachment hoax 1, impeachment hoax 2, and so much more. It just never ends. It is political targeting at the highest level. Hillary Clinton was allowed to delete 33,000 emails after they were subpoenaed by Congress. Absolutely nothing has happened to hold her accountable. She even took antique furniture and other items from the White House. I stood up to America's bureaucratic corruption. I restored power to the people and truly delivered for our country like we have never seen before. This is all that's true, and everything he said was true in this statement. The establishment hated it. Now, as they watch my endorsed candidates win big victories, he's like 189-14, by the way, in terms of his primary record, and see my dominance in all polls. They are trying to stop me and the Republican Party once more. The lawlessness, political persecution must be exposed and stopped. I will continue to fight for the great American people. Now, let me give you my analysis on what happened. Hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. I will have a live stream later this evening at around 9:15 p.m. We're going to talk about all of this. This is very, very important. I think this analysis is important because we've all seen together, if you're watching this channel, Hillary Clinton and James Comey cover up for Clinton. The email investigation was a public relations fiasco. Top secret and special access program intelligence was transferred from secure government locations onto servers outside of the United States government, according to James Comey himself. This is an obvious crime. Their home wasn't broken into by Federal Bureau of Investigation agents. They deleted 30,000 emails without government oversight. These are all criminal acts, okay? They were able to utilize the bureaucracy because you have loyalists within the government. This is not difficult to understand, okay? Hunter has voicemails, 150 suspicious financial transactions, major banking transactions deemed suspicious by the financial institutions. You have voicemails, emails, videos. He's a walking national security risk. The emails actually show requests for influence. How can you use your influence on the company's behalf? And then you have Joe forcing out a prosecutor. I mean, it's just right there. You have evidence of criminal conduct. There is a system that is a very corrupt system. We know this. The difference between Watergate and what's happening with Trump is Watergate was a break-in, a cover-up by a president. Trump has never committed a crime. What they do with Trump, unlike Hunter or Hillary, and I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024, I think that we have to see that again for an actual change in American politics, for the paradigm to completely change, okay? Plus, I would love to see every liberal YouTuber beg their voters to vote for, their viewership to vote for Hillary Clinton again. It'd be fantastic. But they don't have a crime with Trump. So hit subscribe to this channel. Be here tonight for the live stream at around 9:15 p.m. Pacific. And if you want to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, other publications, go to hagoodman.com. If you want to go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and become a member of this channel, please do so. That's on the homepage of this channel. If you want to support my work long term, my Patreon is below in the description section. Please go ahead. If you enjoy my work, your Patreon support is greatly appreciated. And ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel and also the Nuclear Confrontation channel. I'll be doing more segments on there this week. I called what's taking place in the economy and in the market in September of 2021. We're in a recession right now. And I wrote in the Federalist in October, we would see a stock market crash. We're seeing that it's going to get much worse. This is also, Democrats have nothing. They have nothing to stand on in terms of accomplishments. We have a 40-year high in inflation. It's only going to get worse. Demand for oil, demand has outpaced supply. Okay, even in a recession. So the economy is contracting. Inflation is going to continue to go up. The Inflation Reduction Act will not reduce inflation. It's actually going to increase inflation. Democrats, in their hilarious Orwellian manner, just put inflation reduction and pump billions into the economy without any understanding of how pumping money into the economy would actually increase inflation, especially if it doesn't grow GDP, which it doesn't. Numerous studies have stated it's going to increase inflation. And by the way, that's viewed by the left as a big victory. It's like, no. Passing legislation is not a huge victory when you have the House and the Senate and the executive. But anyway, they have nothing. They have nothing in terms of accomplishments to run on. So they have to promote the idea. And by the way, that Trump is this criminal. He didn't commit a crime. Hillary did. Hunter did. Joe almost certainly did. Democrats did commit crimes. They have loyalists like Peter Strzok and Andrew McCabe and Comey and Clapper and Brennan who were either working or contributing to CNN, MSNBC, the New York Times, the Washington Post. These are all extensions of the Democratic Party. There were 500 search warrants issued, according to one article here. There were 500. Mueller team issued 2,800 subpoenas and 500 search warrants. Kevin Kleinsmith pled guilty to falsifying information that led to numerous FISA investigations. So judges signed off on investigations based on falsified records. You could easily falsify information if you're a person like a former agent of the Bureau, Kevin Kleinsmith. 500 search warrants were obtained by the Mueller probe, which never indicted anyone for conspiring alongside Russia. This is all like a bureaucratic and public relations warfare. What they do is they get media or they get loyalists within the U.S. government to say, well, we think there's probable cause that Trump spoke to this person and organized all the chaos in January. He didn't. But you don't need evidence. With Trump, you don't need evidence to get a search warrant. With others, you have all the evidence to get search warrants, but they are not issued. The double standard right now, you have all of these people. I don't have Twitter. I don't have Facebook. I haven't had Twitter in 3 years, 4 years, actually 4 plus years. I haven't had Facebook in 4 plus years. But you have all of these people just giddy, like happy, jumping for joy. Oh, Trump's going to get indicted. You indict Trump, you still get all the voters voting for him, just like you would vote for an indicted Biden or indicted Clinton. Clinton could be in prison. They would still vote for her. Same with Biden. So you're not going to really stop Trump if you indict him. I mean, you could prevent him perhaps from winning, but you're not going to stop him from running. And you're not going to stop him from getting pretty much the same number of voters. So Democrats have, like, there's inflation, economy, in free fall, recession. You have a geopolitical nightmare in Europe. You have a geopolitical nightmare now in Asia. They're jumping for joy because they have they have loyalists in government like Strzok, Comey, McCabe, Clapper, Brennan, all of these 400, 500 former, former U.S. intel officials and DOJ officials. They can it's a public relations machine. They get 500 former, you just fill in the blank, former DOJ officials, former intel officials to just sign on to whatever the Democratic Party wants. This type of policy, this is what would happen in actual communist or authoritarian or totalitarian governments. You're going after, you're setting up your political opponents utilizing the state government or state police or state security services. So you've done nothing in turn. Like the people who talk about American democracy, at the end of the day, they've done the antithesis of what is required within a democracy. They're investigating Trump. They're going after his home now because they can't find anything. Not because there's this mountain of emails like Hunter or, emails like Hillary. You have evidence with Democrats in the form of emails, money flow, obvious, distorted, or, shady relationships, quid pro quo pay-to-play schemes. I mean, it's pretty obvious. 20% of U.S. uranium capacity sold to our mortal enemies. And President Obama coincidentally doesn't veto the sale. I mean, you could look at all of this. With Trump, it's a different story. They can't stop him. They can only try to indict him. And honestly, I was thinking about it, even if they do indict him, he's going to get... That could potentially prevent him from the Oval Office, like actually winning a contest. It's not going to prevent him from either getting close or possibly winning. But it could prevent him from winning, but he'd still make it close. So they're not doing themselves any favors. And that's the best case scenario for Democrats. The worst case scenario is that Trump or DeSantis eventually DeSantis eventually gets into the Oval Office, or Trump, and the pendulum has swung because the economy is so horrible. Because there's going to be a moment in American politics where the entire country turns its back on today's left. It happened with Trump Republicans in 2008. It will happen. It's slowly happening right now with Democrats. Okay, they can only continue to run on the fumes of contempt for Trump for so long. So it's not really like this isn't really it's everyone knows that the Bureau is an extension of the Democratic Party. What Democrats don't realize is that unless you indict Trump, all of this is pretty much meaningless. Furthermore, if they do indict Trump, then everyone looks at Hunter and Hillary, and then the response from the Republican administration that will eventually take hold of the Oval Office is, okay, they're going to get an attorney general who's the antithesis of Jeff Sessions, a bureau director who is loyal to the Republican Party, and then they're going to go after actual criminal activity within the Democratic Party and then start raiding the homes of very corrupt Democratic politicians who actually did commit crimes. That's what DeSantis or what Trump is very likely to do if they get into the Oval Office. So the Democrats are hilarious because they're the ones who actually did commit crimes. They don't want the pendulum to swing towards that type of situation, but that's what they're creating. Give me your thoughts below. It's just like when they cheated Bernie Sanders, and then they said, "Oh my God, Roe is overturned." It's like, well, at that moment in time, Bernie Sanders would have won. You did this to yourselves. And the response from voters is, well, I vote Democrat so we could save Roe. It's like, well, you did vote Democrat, and the mentality of vote blue no matter who led to Bernie being cheated because the political party said, well, we can get away with anything and still get, as much support as we need. Then they didn't get the support, and then Roe was overturned. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Be here for the live stream tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a very important live stream. Thank you.